Stand by.
Loading. Loading complete.
30.
29. 28.
27.
26,
25. 24.
23.
22.
21. 20. 18.
17.
16. 15. 14. 13.
12.
11.
9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 2.
1. Now for what you've all been waiting for.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Good morning, good day, good evening, good night, good wherever it happens to be where you are. And hello to everybody who watches this in the future. Well, as you can see from the title, it's my birthday today, so I've been celebrating. And I'm actually a little bit worn out from all the running around I've done today. So hopefully this turns out well. Might as well just get right into the... Oh, yeah, we also have some posts here from Theta. Happy birthday, hey Mage. Hope you have an amazing day. Love you, brother. Thank you very much for that. Oh, and congratulations at 101. Yes, that's another thing for us to celebrate. I managed to get to over 100 subscribers on here. So thank you to each and every single one of you who subscribed. An unfinished journey. Hello. Oh, and thank you for the happy birthday. All right, might as well just get into the song. Every morning, every evening, ain't we got fun? Not much money, yo, but honey, ain't we got fun? The rent's unpaid, dear, we having a buzz. The smiles were made, dear, for people like us. In the winter, in the summer, don't we have fun? Times are bumming, getting bummer, still we have fun. There's nothing sure, the rich get rich and the poor get poor. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun? Tax collectors getting closer, still we have fun. Twins cares dear, come in pairs dear, don't we have fun? We've only started, no we're not downhearted. When I'm laid off, I'll be paid off, ain't we got fun? None was mad and getting madder, ain't we got fun? Times are bad and getting badder, still we have fun. There's nothing sure, the rich get rich and the poor get poor. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun? Well, I hope we have a lot of fun tonight. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different tonight, so I'll be opening things up for anybody who wants to come in and just sit and chat for a little open mic. Before I get to that, might as well get to the bad news. Get the bad news out of the way here first. Because I want to keep things kind of upbeat today, and that is John Lodge, who is of the Moody Blues, has passed away. I would normally read through this whole thing, but I kind of want to summarize a little bit. He died at age 82. He was central to the enduring success as a bassist, singer, and songwriter. To get down to this bottom part, Lodge never took music lightly. He always saw in it the potential for something more than entertainment. In that 2023 interview, he was asked what psychedelic meant to him. and answered perfectly. I hope your mind will explore the music and take you wherever the music takes you. It's not a case of just singing along. It's listening. It can and be one note, and uh, that transports you somewhere. And I think if you can conjure up experiences and stories in your mind, and where the music it takes you, to me that's psychedelic. You have to listen into things, not just hear them. That's a pretty good quote, I think. Actually, I may have to come back and save that one. Oh, and have a purple. Greetings, sentient beings. Greetings to you. Since we have that, let's get the out of the way here. Of all the money that I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me, and all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. So fill to me the parting glass, and drink a health whate'er befall, and gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it fell unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all. So fill to me the parting glass, and drink a health whate'er befall, and gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all. Good night and joy be to you all. Now, I'm pretty sure that probably wasn't up to Lodge's standards here's of music, but well, it's what I can do on short notice. But like I was saying, I was going to open this up to the as a panel, so let's get to doing that. I think my channel's still small enough I can get away with having this publicly. Okay. Now, my only two rules here are no politics and no religious discussion. I know it can be a bit difficult to not to get into things like politics, but hey, especially nowadays. Pin that to the top. So if anybody wants to come in and hang out and chat, there is the link. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for anyone who wants to come in. See what the wheel has to have to say on here. Actually, thinking about it, I'm not very practiced on this one still, but Here is it. Just give me 1 minute here, folks. Okay. I really have a yen to go back home once again. Back to the place where no one wears a frown. To see once more those super special, just plain folks in my hometown. No fellow could ignore the little girl next door. She sure looks sweet in her first evening gown. Now there's a charge for what she used to give for free in my hometown. I remember Dan, the druggist on the corner, was never mean or ornery. He was swell. He killed his mother-in-law and ground her up real well, and sprinkled just a bit over each banana split. The guy that taught us math, who never took a bath, acquired a certain measure of renown. And after school he sold the most amazing pictures in my hometown. The fellow was no fool who taught our Sunday school, and neither was our kindly person Brown. We're recording tonight, so I have to leave this line out in my hometown. I remember Sam, he was the village idiot, and though it seemed a pity, it was so. He loved to burn down houses just to watch the glow, and nothing could be done, 'cause he was the mayor's son. The guy that took a knife and monogrammed his wife, then dropped her in the pond and watched her drown. Oh yes, indeed, the people there are just plain folks in my hometown. Sorry for the cracking voice there. I was trying to avoid that. Let me get something here. A little Tullamore Dew. Hopefully that'll help. And of course, you always follow it up with some water. Because the goal here is not to get drunk on stream. The goal is just to, lubricate the throat. Okay. Well, now let's see what we have on the wheel. I'll keep practicing that Tom Lehrer song. And thanks to Tom Lehrer for letting us all use the skies. I was blue, just as blue as I could be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. Then good luck came a knocking at my door. Skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright. Never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. I should care if the wind blows east or west. I should fret if the worst looks the best. I should mind, they say it can't be true. I should smile, that's exactly what I'll do. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Yeah, I don't seem to be quite in right tune today. Oh well. Well, while we're still waiting, let's see if anybody wants to come in. I pulled up an old story I wrote quite a while back. I think will be fitting for this month. So I'll get to reading that. The story is titled Hunger. It was already late in the day when I woke. I remember lying down, but I don't remember falling asleep. Yesterday I went home early from work, feeling sick to my stomach, my body aching all over. That was gone now. Instead, I had this gnawing hunger like I hadn't eaten in days. There was something else that felt strange. It was as if nothing was quite real. I could feel the bed sheets on me, but it felt like they had no substance. It was the same for everything around me. The floor beneath my feet, the doorknob as I turned it to leave the room. Nothing really felt like it was supposed to. Even the sounds and smells of the apartment seemed off somehow. Then, the only sensation that seemed real was the hunger I felt. But a pang of hunger for what? I didn't know. I went to the kitchen and grabbed a box of cereal. I took a large handful in my mouth and immediately spat it back out. It was like I had just filled my mouth with recycled paper. The cereal had lost all its flavor. I checked the expiration date on the box and it seemed okay. But I decided to try something else. I grabbed an apple from the fruit basket on my counter and took a bite. It too had the same recycled paper taste to it. I felt a twinge of pain from the hunger I had and tried to eat the apple anyway. But as soon as I swallowed the first bite, I retched and spit it back out. I kept trying different things, looking for something to eat. But everything was tasteless. Whatever food I did manage to get down, and I would just vomit back up. I began tearing apart my kitchen and looking for anything that would satisfy the growing hunger in me when I heard a soft knock on the door. I opened the door. Standing there was a little girl dressed in his Girl Scout uniform. I looked down at her, and she smiled at me and held out a box of cookies. With her arms outstretched, holding the box with both hands, she asked if I'd like to buy some. I smiled at the little girl and thought to myself, yes, perhaps this is what will satisfy my hunger. Everything went black after that. I have no idea how much time passed. When I came to, I was sitting on the floor of my living room and could hear the sound of a woman in my kitchen screaming in terror. I looked over at her, confused as to why she seemed so frightened. I could see my front door just past her. It looked as if she had broken down the door to get in. That's when I noticed my hands were covered in blood. I looked down at my body and saw that at the front of my shirt was equally covered. There were entrails strewn across my feet to where I sat. I looked around the room and saw blood everywhere, with chunks of flesh and body parts scattered about. I don't know how I didn't notice it before, but I could now feel a warm, sticky substance around my mouth. I then realized I had eaten the little girl. I stood up and began walking toward the woman, in whom I presume was the little girl's mother. Out of fear, she grabbed a large kitchen knife sitting on a nearby counter and charged at me. The impact nearly knocked me off my feet. I stared down at the knife sticking out of my chest. It was odd. There was no pain. I looked at my blood-soaked hands. I knew I should be horrified by all this, but it didn't matter anymore. I now knew what I could eat, and I was beginning to feel hungry again. Oh, Theta here. Hello, Theta. Well, I've got the link for anybody who wants to come in. Of course, my two rules: we aren't going to get into politics or religion. And I hope you like the story. That was something I wrote a while back. I still kind of feel it needs a little bit of refinement here and there. I kind of refined a little bit on the fly there as well while I was reading it. But there'll be some other short stories I plan to read in the future. While we're waiting, you see, you make me wait for people to come in here, and that means I sing more. Are you sure you really want that to happen? All right. My singing isn't quite up to par tonight for some reason. Just can't seem to quite get the crackle out of my throat here. Maybe it's because I'm being fueled entirely by cake. I love you truly, truly, dear. Life with its sorrow, life with its tear. Fade into dreams when I feel you near. For I love you truly, truly, dear. Our love 'tis something to feel your kind hand. Ah, yes, 'tis something by your side to stand. Gone is the sorrow, gone doubt and fear. For you love me truly, truly, dear. Yeah. Some people complain that Girl Scout cookies aren't made from real Girl Scout house. The protagonist of that story doesn't seem to have that problem. Yes. And Purple showed up. Hello. Hello. Okay. Well, I guess Purple still needs to get her headset on.
Nope. I just had my mic button muted.
There you are.
Yeah, didn't realize you weren't hearing me talk there. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
Although
Figured I'd try.
I will give you some advice that, stop getting older. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Once you're past about 25, there really isn't any point in aging anymore.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that, huh? It's not good for my health.
Well, take it from experience. I've been doing it for over half a century, and it's just, yeah, it was better in my 20s.
Well, I'm always of the mind that we should celebrate our birthdays, regardless
Yep.
of what age we are.
No, yeah, that's true. You should celebrate it as an accomplishment that, considering all the things on this planet that are out to kill you, you've managed to avoid them for another year.
Yes. And remember, those who have the most birthdays statistically live the longest.
This is true. And since I got my food assembled, I now have my fuzzy little vultures sitting on me.
Oh, of course. Purple here has a couple of cat hats.
Yep. Yeah, I have Sammy, Son, and Ethan, my 2 tuxedo kitties.
Yep.
Although for Halloween, I'm taking a black Sharpie and I'm trying to color all the white spots in.
That's something I haven't tried before. Let's see if this works. No, that doesn't work. Okay. See if I can do drag and drop here on this platform. It doesn't allow drag and drop apparently.
Why would you want to drop a dragon?
Well, they make big booms.
Yeah, but then they eat you.
Well, not if you drop them right.
Well, you can't drop them from too high, otherwise they'll just spread out their wings and they'll fly back up.
Hmm.
So you can't. You can only drop them from, I guess, maybe 4 or 5 stories. It's Ethan. Oh, yeah.
Yes. We have the Molly. And unlike other channels, we don't tase our dogs to keep them as background props. No, here we give them head scratches, copious amounts of treats, and the occasional nose boop.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't seen that video yet, but... Yep. Roof cams are always good on live streams.
Yeah, apparently there's another video that's been leaked of an earlier time with the guy's first dog, where he pulls the dog back by its tail.
Oh, same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like somebody who should not be allowed to have pets.
Yeah. If you want a pet that's a good background and prop, get a goldfish.
Or just get plushies.
Yeah, that works too. You can't hurt a plushie.
Well, you can, but they don't scream when you do it. I know I'm just too soft, but sometimes I find plushies at the thrift store that are ripped in that, and it's like, I want to take them home just to give them the medical attention and then put them back there again because I don't have space for all of them. So I want them to be adopted, and I'm afraid that if they're leaking their stuffing, that nobody's going to adopt them.
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. If you have the money to do it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't have the money to buy
Yeah.
all of them either.
But that's actually a pretty good idea. If anybody who's into sewing, and, maybe that's something that you could try. Buy some damaged plushies from the thrift stores, patch them up, and you can either sell them maybe on Etsy or donate them back to the thrift store.
Yeah, the Sloth Girl used to advertise as being a stuffed animal hospital. Just for fixing toys for kids in the neighborhood.
Well, seeing as we do more pop culture here, I know you're really into Lego,
Yes, very much so.
so that might be a good topic to discuss.
I just today saw the first video of a new set Lego is coming out with. That it's kind of an updated version, of what the original lunar lander would have looked like. That they actually the little dune buggy cart that they put up on the moon in 1970 something.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about the set is they actually have it so that it folds up into the configuration that it was in when it was stored in the Apollo rocket.
Oh, yes.
Because it's something that the people who say the moon landings were fake is that they didn't have room to take the dune buggy up there. And it's like, no, the thing folded up and it was hidden inside the section of the Saturn V, right before the command module. Yep, that's the set.
Here it is.
Unfortunately, it's like $200.
Yeah, it's an expensive set.
Yeah, but I would love to get it, but I can't spend that much money on it.
Yeah, but here you can actually see the sides it folding up here.
Yeah, it looks pretty authentic.
Yeah, it does.
And that's so cool that they actually made it fold like that. So if anybody wants to buy me a Christmas present,
Yeah,
and has more money than I do.
Yeah, I'm usually more into the medieval theme stuff, the fantasy ones.
Yeah.
I also like the pirate sets.
Yeah, I've got a concept for a castle mock that I want to do and submit to Lego. So I need to break out a tub of gray pieces so I can just fiddle with them to get it to look right. I was thinking that what Lego should really do is like a modular concept for castle. And like they had back in like 2006 or 2007, they had these square plastic canisters that they were dinosaurs that you had to assemble. Snap the legs and the head on and different accessories for different dinosaurs. So I was thinking that if they made like castle sets that came in the square canisters and they gave the canisters attachment points so that the canister could actually become, a castle tower, and then the parts inside it would be like the pieces to build a section of wall. And you could just buy as many of those sets as you wanted for, how big of a castle you wanted to build, and then it would just have to have like, one other larger set that like built the castle main gate.
Sounds like an interesting setup.
Yeah. And it's like it's something that they're not doing currently, but Lego had done ones like this actually way back in the 60s. Some of the sets came in a square canister. It was a cardboard square box, but the top of it was actually a Lego base plate that just didn't have any connectors on the bottom, so it could be a lid for the box.
I think I remember stuff like that.
Yeah. And I've found a couple of those lids in some of my old Lego.
Yeah,
So
cool.
that's why I was thinking that, it even if they went back to the cardboard box and just, had the lid that you could, build the I forget what they're called, but they build up the castle tower around that, with the little slots for the archers and things in it.
Yeah. And for those who aren't familiar with Lego, it is Lego, not Legos, right?
Yes. Lego is both singular and plural. So a pile of parts is still just Lego. Or you could say things like Lego bricks or Lego elements.
It's not Legos.
Yes. Yep, and that is from one of the members of the founding family who had corrected that, like half a century ago. So, it was corrected before most of you were born. So get with the program, people. I like the pirate ships too, and I've got a concept for. I'm going to do a custom, very queer pirate ship.
Ah.
That, of course, just for me, I'm going to do it with purple and orange sails, and for all the rigging, all the rope work. I'm just going to use some of the embroidery floss in different colors. So I'm just going to make a pirate ship for the queer community. And if I can dig through my old bins, I know somewhere in there that I have some of the original pirate cannons that were actually spring-loaded so that they fired the little, 1-pip cylinders. They stopped doing that in the 80s because then we got all sorts of, toy safety laws that, all the fear that anything with a spring in it was going to put somebody's eye out. I'm like,
oh, no, they still sold the cannons that are spring-loaded.
No, the new ones are fixed. They do have some other, some other Lego shooters now.
Yeah, there was some Lego shooters on this Black Panther set I got, and no, yeah, I've gotten some cannons that had the spring-loaded in a set in the 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the ones in the current pirate ships, the whole cannon's just a molded piece. There isn't the part that you can pull back to fire it. Because I've got the Lego Creator pirate ship on the top shelf up above my desk, and I am so proud of Sammy's son. He is so careful tiptoeing over my Lego models that he never knocks them off the shelf. The worst that has ever happened is that he has knocked off a couple of the minifigs.
Yeah.
But he is so careful about it, and that's why he has won World's Greatest Roommate for 8 years running. Because he is so polite, and he never causes any trouble. He always asks permission before causing mischief.
So, found this little thing that seemed to have caused some commotion in drama. Now, this is a redone version, but the thing that has caused the most commotion on this is, zoom in here a little bit, this character right there. Now, what's so much a problem with that character? Well, the reason why it caused so much commotion is because it was replacing another character here.
Yeah, I don't know much about the characters or the lore.
Yep. Well, this character here is Amy Rose. So they replaced her with another character named Jet at the Hawk. Yeah, Jet the Hawk. And being that she was the only female character on this thing, and like, oh, they got rid of the female character, therefore, it's sexist. But the thing is, the reason why they were replacing her isn't because get rid of the one female character. It's because this is Amy's color scheme. She's pink and red rather than green.
Yeah.
So they replaced her with a character that is primarily green. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Though Amy does work a little bit better thematically. Is with the rest of the group is she meshes with the rest of that particular group that we had on there. Knuckles, Tails, Sonic, and so forth. There have also been other arguments that, well, why didn't they just replace her with another green female character, such as Surge here?
Well, or why didn't they use her for the red stripe there?
Well, they already had Knuckles, and he's actually a much more popular character.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know he played a much bigger part in the video games. Yeah, that's the Sloth Girl had one of the Sega Genesis consoles that came with the original Sonic game. So I remember playing that way back.
So scrolling down here, the person who did the remake, he does mention that they were not able to find in the Surge and unique wash art, or basically in the style of art, right, where they could edit them in. So that's probably why they didn't use Surge and went with Jet instead. So I get it. I mean, I think this is reading a little bit too much into it, making a little bit too much drama out of nothing really. But
yeah, well, if this is a fan created thing and not the company doing it.
Yeah, this is just a fan. This is a fan thing. They saw the I believe that the official thing has Amy in it, and the person came up and says, "By the way, just fixed your art with Jet, seeing as Amy doesn't really fit the green motif."
Okay. Yeah, I can see that a fan was just fixing it to have the appropriate color schemes.
Yeah. Though,
Yeah,
like I said,
I was thinking that was something, that was artwork that the company had released that way and changed it.
No, it wasn't the company. The company released the one with the Amy on it. Though but the backlash has caused people to create a green Amy fan art, and have argued how there have been different versions of Amy where she was different colors, where it says such as one of her concept art she was brown, and there was one where she was gold, and so forth.
Well, you want to cause some real controversy? Say that Amy and Jet are the same character and she just transitioned to a boy.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, watch the right wing lose their shit that Sonic has a trans
Let's
character.
not get into that.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to keep myself in check so I don't go off on topics that get political.
Yeah, I understand.
So, I am having salad. Salad is not political.
How dare you! Okay. Let's see here. What else do I have?
Well, I'm having salad now. I've got some chicken vegetable soup going in the crock pot. And then I'll throw in some rice for the last hour. I had
Sounds
2
good.
chicken carcasses in the freezer that I'd picked off as much of the meat as I could.
Yeah,
So
I'll
then,
be
yeah, a couple of days ago, then I boiled up the chicken carcasses just to get all the good stuff out of the bones to make real good broth.
nice. Yeah, I'll be eating something other than cake later or after the show.
It's your birthday. You're allowed to just have just cake and soda if that's all you want to have on your birthday. Your body might rebel tomorrow about it, though.
No, I had got myself a little something thing to cook up afterwards.
Okay. As long as you got yourself some good treats.
Yep, I was considering maybe just ordering a pizza from Domino's, but I
Mhm.
found I found something else I wanted to eat.
That's good. I found something else I wanted to eat too, but she wouldn't come home with me.
Yeah,
By
I
the
don't.
way, I really did enjoy that story. That was a really good short story.
Yeah, thanks. That
You
was,
know, it kind of seemed to be in the spirit of like the original Twilight Zone stuff.
yeah, that was actually inspired by a comment I came across. I think it was on Reddit. It's a long time ago, where they were talking about oh a zombie story, but from the perspective of the zombie.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I was coming from with that.
Yeah, it is interesting, and I haven't seen any stories from that perspective. About really even whether or not their brain's still capable of thinking. But I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about that, is the person still mentally alive in there? They're just unable to communicate as their body is deteriorating around them.
Hmm. Good question. A Girl Scout mage? Well, I tend to find it be creepy when and I you add little kids as either the victim or the monster. So it tends to be a fairly common trope in my stories.
Yeah. Well, I think for most people, it really like raises the horror effect if someone is going after kids.
Yeah, that that's what it's kind of what my own personal pet. Yeesh. So that ends up getting into in my horror stories.
Mhm. It gets more visceral reaction from people.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and polish up a few of some of my older ones as well. I've dug up.
I look forward to you doing more of those on your show. Your own short
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. I usually did a lot of horror short. I've been kind of saving them for Halloween here.
Hmm.
I'm actually working on one. I guess I'll save that for later. I won't spoil a surprise.
Yeah, that's a prime idea. Just to do one each week during October up until Halloween. Okay, Halloween Horror Story is about them putting out the Christmas stuff too soon because it's the holiday that ate all the other holidays. It's already consumed Thanksgiving and it's stalking Halloween now.
Santa showed up dressed as Dracula.
Or if Dracula dresses up as Santa, it's a way to get people to invite him in.
Hmm? Yeah, that would work.
Okay, question I keep asking and nobody's got a really good answer to it yet. Is if you have a doormat that says welcome, does that count as an invitation so the vampires can come in?
Hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, like I say, it's just a random question, and people are always like, "Yeah, you know, the rules don't really cover that."
Does it have to be verbal? Well,
Yeah, well, does it have to be an individual invitation, or can it just be? Can they take anything? Like if you put out an invitation on your Facebook that you're having a party, can they come in?
hmm. Everyone welcome. Okay, we can come in. Oh, while slang. Hello. Thank you for the happy birthday. And if you'd like, I do have a link up top. Up, you can come in and
Excuse
chat.
me.
It's an open mic tonight. And
Wall slang isn't. I don't know who that is. But of course, we've got unfinished song out there.
I do have a lot of people who won't show up on your shows.
Yeah, I know that that you had been doing the movie things with that other group.
Yep. With one of the ones I've been working with is Theta here.
Yeah, I know that's where Theta came in. That I've been over to that show a couple of times, so I've kind of met the people briefly.
Yeah, well, I'll transfer everybody over to Theta's his thing later after my show here is done, and I believe he's doing the 4th Toxic Avenger movie, Citizen Toxie.
Ah,
Well, were we on that? Here's
yeah,
another.
I think I only saw the first 2 of the Toxic Avenger movies. I don't think I saw any of them beyond that.
Oh, we'll have to cover that then.
Yeah, it's been so long, I'd have to watch the first one again just to remember how it all started.
Yes. Well, actually, since I'm before I get into this topic, I'll invite everybody to my Discord. So I've been running a Discord, and on Thursdays midnight Eastern time, I've been doing a midnight showing of the various movies, anime. So if you want to join that, or just join my Discord, let's see, invite people.
Yeah, I was never really into anime, and Mage has been curating good ones for me, so now I'm really enjoying it.
So there is my Discord. You can join that. The announcements have the link to where we go to watch the anime in movies. I'm not going to say what the site is because apparently YouTube doesn't like the name of the site being mentioned on their platform for some reason. So far I've heard. So I won't risk it that. But this is apparently a talk about a live action trailer for Fury. It's a indie video game that came out, and this is kind of the issue right here. Well, someone photoshopped the headphones on this guy, but this character is named the Stranger, and this is supposed to be the character in the movie. In general, I have said this repeatedly. I do not like race and gender swapping characters, and yeah, they race swapped the character and gave him a stupid emo haircut on top of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see where the backlash is on this.
I in general am opposed to them making live action things from animated stuff. I mean, it just tends to lose so much in the translation.
There's a shot of him without the photoshopping. Yeah, it's definitely not good casting. Come on, let's get the hair right. I mean,
yeah. Although I suppose it is a bit different. If it's something that wasn't really like a full animated show or that, if it's just, making a movie from a video game.
Yeah, it's basically what they're doing. It's a movie based on this indie video game that came out.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of cool just to take all the lore from the game and, show how the story evolves.
Yeah, so this character looks like they did got fairly accurate. I actually don't know the names of all these characters, so I'm not really familiar with the game itself too much. So
It's
but
a purple bunny.
it's a purple bunny or a guy in a purple bunny suit.
Yep. Well, I didn't know if that was just supposed to be a costume he's wearing or if it was, like that it's like a furry character.
Mm.
Is it an anthropomorphized rabbit or is it just a human wearing a funny suit?
Yeah, this is being getting hit hard. At first, I wasn't even sure if this trailer was real.
Hmm.
I actually had to go back and look on the Instagram where it apparently came from, and yeah, it's a real trailer. I mean, some people were saying no, that's not the trailer, that's fake. So I had to kind of do some research beforehand.
Yeah.
But
Well, and there's a lot of times fans do up movie trailers like that, and sometimes they're actually better than what the studio produces for the trailers.
this is true. But just to prove that, yeah, that was a real trailer. Here is the official page on Instagram, and we scroll down, keep scrolling, and this is it right here. Give it a second. Here, see, it's the same video. So there it is.
I did see one of the Final Fantasy movies, even though I didn't play the game. I did like that the Spirit Within one.
The Spirit Within movie.
Yeah, and it made a good movie.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't very Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I didn't know whether or not it followed the lore of the game because I hadn't played the game.
It's its own separate lore. It didn't actually follow any particular game.
Okay.
But I kind of felt it didn't really capture the spirit of Final Fantasy personally.
Mm. Well, just on its own, I thought it was a good movie, and I liked the concept that, they thought this was an alien invasion and it was just the ghost of all the creatures from this planet that got destroyed.
It is an interesting concept to go with.
Yeah, I do like, a lot of these stories with paranormal stuff and that.
Yeah, most of my horror tends to be more paranormal based.
Yeah, well, I've been getting more into, watching some of these SCP things on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can get you into some actual horror movies then.
Yeah, we could do some. My late fiance, loved horror movies all the time, so
Yeah.
I would watch them with her. Although I always had to ask before we start, is this one that you want me to, just watch quietly, or is it okay if I pick apart all the impossibilities in the movie?
Oh yes. Well, Miss Lang, usually in Doomcock's live stream memes, one of the big influences on this particular channel. I usually do more singing on this channel than and talking like I am today. This is kind of a little bit of a special day, and my singing voice isn't up to par tonight for some reason. Uh, but I do all sorts of eclectic things. I usually, from perspective of Doomcock shows, I would say my show is sort of like a mix between Friday Night Frolics and Pop Culture Beatdown. That's two of his shows that he does.
I do enjoy your songs. You know, you've got a nice, deep, mellow voice for that.
Only watched the first Tomb Raider movies since I had the first two new separate original Tomb Raider video games on my Windows PC. No, actually, I never really played the Tomb Raider video games myself. Though I do say it still stand in that Lara Croft needs to have big boobs. I mean, it's just part of the character.
Yeah, well, you know, if it's how the character was in the first video game, they need to stay with it.
Polygon on boobs. Got it.
That must have made it extra hard for her to, you know, like slide on the floor under the laser beams. Get her nipples buzzed off.
I am just being driven nuts trying to figure out this horror movie that I cannot remember the name of. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name of anyone who played in it either. I can just only remember a vague outline of the plot.
Well, explain it to me. Maybe there's a chance it was one I saw.
Yeah. Okay, so now the time frame I'm fairly certain is at least 2015 or earlier, somewhere in the 2000s. And as to when this was released. But the plot is that these people, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 people who were hired by this elderly couple. Well, they had had this big deadline, so they hired these temp workers to sort these. I believe they were punch cards. But it turns out that each punch card that was sorted was actually a human's life. So every time they sorted one punch card, a person somewhere out in the world died. And the couple turned out to be either demons or angels of death. I don't think they ever really specified what exactly they were, but they were definitely not human. And the whole deadline thing was they're trying to, take out all of humanity for the apocalypse. And there's one scene where one of the people doing the sorting kind of rebelled, and they sorted him, and he died. But they still needed him around to complete the task on time, so they put him back, but he was a zombie. And I'm fairly certain I remember a scene where they were starting to kind of catch on that something was off with the whole thing, and they approached one of the elderly couple, and an eye appeared in the person's hand and looked at them. So those are the 2 big scenes I can remember from that movie. I talked to my friend who was the one who showed me the movie originally. They can't remember the movie, unfortunately. So I've been digging through databases for the past few days trying to figure out what movie this was. So unless I come across a random screenshot, I'm probably not going to be able to figure it out. Or if somebody knows what movie that is I was describing.
Yeah, no, not one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, not too surprising. My friend gets into some pretty obscure horror movies.
Well, like I say, my late fiance was really into that, and that was it was right when a new channel had launched on cable. Now I can't remember the name of it, but basically it was just horror movies 24 hours a day, and she was so thrilled with that channel.
Chiller, I believe that was the name of.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah. Oh, one movie that I might have to work on this for next week. But one of the movies I wanted to cover is Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could search for something based on your description, but not coming up with anything.
Yeah, I've tried searching. I've tried AI. Nothing's coming up with anything. Yeah, it doesn't sound like anything that I would have ever interested in watching. I don't know.
It sounds like a movie I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a horror comedy too, from what I remember.
Yeah, I would guess that that your best chance of it might be like searching Reddit
Hmm.
to see if somebody was discussing a horror movie about punch cards.
Well, I've been digging through what Box Office Mojo. Oh, they have basically list everything. Actually, one thing I could probably get away with is playing Night of the Living Dead, the original, because that's in the public domain.
Oh, has it just aged out and fallen into public domain now?
No, it didn't. It didn't age out. He there was a mix up on the setting up the copyrights. The
Oh,
copyrights laws at the time were different,
right.
and so this out of a fluke, and the movie ended up being in the public domain.
Hmm. Yeah, I could really appreciate the horror movies, that were done on a limited budget, so they really didn't have, like great special effects or anything, like puppets for the monsters and that. And it's like, I actually quite enjoyed those. I guess it's because I like the ones that, made the audience use their imagination to fill in some of it.
The practical effects.
Yeah. Well, I love practical effects still. And, I just, I am in awe of some of the things that model builders have been able to pull off.
Yeah, the skill involved is usually one of the big draws, and
Yep.
sometimes the practical effect looks better than in the CG effect anyway.
Yeah.
I remember Gremlins. I always thought those were excellently done. I remember I'd gone to Universal Studio once, and they had actually one of the Gremlins that they used from the movie in a glass case. Is on display. I could get a really close up look at this thing, and even up close, this puppet
Sure.
actually still looks real in person.
That's cool. Yeah. Sorry, I was having to get a picture of Ethan. He was just in a perfect pose for the hashtag I've been trying to promote. It hasn't caught on yet,
Oh,
but yeah, I'm just trying to do a hashtag for Floofs of Toe Bean Tuesday.
ah.
So get pictures of your cats and dogs when their toe beans are showing.
And while we're talking about things that you're trying to get to catch, for those of you who out there, or when you hear somebody tell a bad dad joke, your response is to put the sloth emoji into the chat.
Yep.
Yes, Purple's friend here, her sloth girl, had passed away, and she just absolutely loved telling terrible jokes. So in her honor, I think that'd be a nice thing to get caught on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to get that going. And the closest thing I have ever had to something going viral on the internet is I posted one of her jokes in the comment section of a woodworking video I watched. And that joke, like within a week, had like 150 responses to it.
Nice. A movie that was not copyrighted correctly or renewed by a certain time became in public domain by default. Yeah, I don't remember the exact circumstances with Night of the Living Dead, exactly how it ended up being in the public domain. But I'd have to look that back up.
Yeah, what year was that one made?
When was it made? Let's look that up. Let's see. The original was made in 1966.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that in itself, it sounds like it's got a good story behind it for you to cover here.
Yeah.
To explain how that happened, that it fell into the public domain and all.
Yeah, maybe I'll cover that movie along with Return of the Living Dead next week. That might make for a good show, because there's some good lore on both of those movies.
Well, another zombie movie I love, which was done as a comedy thing, was Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I actually didn't really get into that one. The one I actually liked was Zombieland. I still haven't seen the sequel to it, Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, same. I saw the first one. I never saw the sequel. That was one of the ones that my late fiance made me watch. So, so part of why I like it is it's a memory of her. But
well, as far as I'm concerned, riffing on the horror movies is part of the fun of it.
Yep.
It's a good I think it's good psychologically, as you can face your fears in a safe way, and explore your different ways of handling in situations that might be rather intense, and when you encounter them in the real world.
Yeah, well, that's the thing for me that the really good horror movies, that most people would like. I probably enjoy less because adrenaline is not my friend. A lot of people live for adrenaline surges. I could do without it. My happy drug is the dopamines. Anything that makes me create more dopamines. Which chocolate causes your brain to create more dopamines. And that it was one of the things that my late fiance would do was that, if I was like ticking a lot, that, she would ask, have you had any chocolate today? Because, yeah, I was literally taking chocolate medicinally. Because if I had a chocolate bar in the middle of the day, I didn't tick so much in the evenings.
Here, have a Snickers. Here's that Snickers meme.
Mm-hmm. They had some good commercials for that of, people turning into other people.
Yeah.
There was one of those with Betty White. That was great.
Oh, yes. I think I remember that one. But one last topic I had set aside for tonight is this one here. Hulu is officially shutting down after 20 years. It's a fairly short article. Time is ticking for Hulu, but fans shouldn't despair. The popular streaming service is going away, but its content won't disappear entirely. Disney recently confirmed that in 2026, Hulu's content will be fully integrated into Disney Plus. So they're taking the bigger, more popular streaming platform and integrating it into the less popular one. Yeah, that makes sense. For
Well,
the international market, Hulu will replace the Star brand and starting in today to become the hub for Disney's adult-oriented programming. All starting in this month, Hulu new content in the US will start merging into Disney Plus to create a single app. Oh boy.
yeah. There was a lot of stuff on Hulu that's definitely not for kids. How are they going to handle that?
Yeah. I just don't see this working out too well. And honestly, a lot of people are averse to Disney for various reasons.
Yeah,
So they already don't want to be on Disney Plus for that for whatever reason they have they
yeah.
with the personal beef they have with Disney.
Well,
And this,
even all
yeah,
the politics and everything aside, it's just kind of disturbing how Disney is absorbing everything.
yeah, that too. So
Hmm.
Disney basically ended up becoming the stock majority holder for Hulu, who some time back, just before they started their Disney Plus thing, and that basically left them with having two streaming platforms on their hands. They could have just saved themselves the money. He put all their stuff on Hulu, and bought that out entirely.
Well, I think it would make sense to keep them as separate, and just keep the Disney Plus for the family oriented stuff and keep Hulu for the stuff that maybe you don't want your kids watching.
That would work too. Have the Hulu become make Hulu the primarily just solely adult oriented material.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, that work.
make Hulu the one that comes with the 18 plus content warning on it.
Yeah, that could work. But I don't know. Disney just seems to want to make every bad decision they can think of nowadays.
Yeah, well, that's like I really love the Marvel comics, and I've the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe since Disney acquired it. I just beyond the first Avengers movie, I lost interest in it.
Hmm.
They were just, I'm mostly familiar with the characters from the comic books in the 70s and 80s, and just some of the characters are like almost unrecognizable from what they were then.
Yeah, that's another thing. Marvel itself has been pretty bankrupt creativity as far as creativity he has been lately.
Yeah.
Like recently, apparently they're recently killing off Silver Surfer to replace him with a female variant, so they can match up with their movie. Which they should have put with the original Silver Surfer in the movie, because they still haven't gotten in the core of the Fantastic Four done right in a movie yet.
Yeah. I don't know why the Fantastic Four is one that they're having so much trouble with.
I don't know either. You'd think that'd be a fairly easy formula to get right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw I saw the first two Fantastic Four movies, and yeah, it's like, you know, did the people who write this, did they never like look at the comics to find out who the characters were? Because it's like they had their powers, but they didn't have the personalities at all.
Well, that's actually been a big problem with a lot of these comic book turn or movies, especially with Marvel. Well, they actually look for people who aren't familiar with the comics to do the writing and work on these shows. For instance, with a lot of the X-Men movie, he's even though a lot of them turned out well, so the original X-Men movie, the person didn't want the actors reading up on the comics and the characters, though they did anyway.
Why would they be discouraging that?
I don't know. They wanted to make it different from the comics.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not following what they're doing, but yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Uh,
The one that I did catch a few episodes when they did that series Agents of Shield,
yeah, I
and
couldn't.
I didn't have the streaming service to be able to continue following it, but actually that one was looking pretty good.
Yeah, I never got into that one. I have to give that one a shot myself. I heard some good things about it.
Well, again, if you're gonna be watching it, I'd watch it with you.
Yeah, that might be something for the midnight show.
Well, or even if there's some of these that the other people aren't that interested in, maybe you and I could just do watches another night of the week.
Yeah, we could do that too. I'm open to doing other showings for people if they can't make the midnight show.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going for about getting an hour 21 minutes, so I guess maybe just close this out here.
Okay.
And people over to Theta since he's starting. I believe he's starting his thing on that's 9:30 my time here.
Yep.
And I'm kind of running out of things to talk about here. It looks like he's already started his show, so.
Oh, okay. Yep.
All right. So there is the link for his show. You can go check it out. Thanks for everybody for coming by and celebrating my birthday with me and celebrating reaching 100 subscribers. And thank you, Purple, for coming in chatting.
Oh, you did break your 100 subscribers already.
Yes, I managed to break it.
Okay.
So for those of you who are Doomcock fans, that means the button shall not be pushed.
Oh yeah. Now I see that it says you have 101 subscribers now.
And for those of you who aren't in Doomcock, who don't listen to Doomcock, that's a part of his shtick. He has a eldritch god, Harvey Cthulhu, who trapped in a containment unit. And pushing the button will release him, and he'll destroy the world. So that was my conditions for reaching 100 subscribers. If I didn't make it, the button shall be pushed.
Okay, somehow I'm thinking this has to be the meme with the two buttons.
Sort of, but just with one button, kind of the red shiny candy-like button, and from Ren and Stimpy.
I built this in my sleep. I don't know what it does. It has a button. I want to push it, but might destroy the world.
Exactly. So long, everybody.
Good night.